Happy early 2021, everybody, and welcome to the last episode of the Real Estate Connection for 2020. Thank you for joining me today as we do early afternoon edition, approximately 1:49 in the afternoon. Happy early New Year. Happy New Year to all of my friends. Yeah, I know I don't sing that well. But welcome to the show. Welcome. Happy New Year early. Come on in.
Time now for The Real Estate Connection with Stephen Thayard, a realtor and certified probate and real estate specialist. Whether you're a first-time homebuyer or a seasoned investor looking to downsize, move up, or refinance, this program is for you.
Our house in the middle of our street.
From probate sales to landscape design to home repairs and maintenance, this is your weekly look into all things real estate. Now your host for the Real Estate Connection, Stephen Thayard.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining me on my last episode for 2020. Yeah, that's right. We are it. It is the last. That's right. There's the air horn. That's the last episode for 2020. Welcome. Thanks for joining me. It's been an adventuresome year, to say the least, right? I mean, could you imagine if somebody told you this time in 2019 what the world would be going through and what you would personally have to experience in the year 2020? You would have told everybody there's no bleeping way any of that stuff would happen. But it has, and since you are watching this show right now or listening to this show right now, congratulations to you. You have made it through one of the most challenging years in the history of the world. I'd have to rank that up there with probably the bombing of Pearl Harbor, or going through World War II, or any of the major events that have happened in some of our lifetimes. I know for a lot of us, we didn't live through the Second World War, but we definitely did live through 9/11. But even 9/11 was just a one-time event, and it came and went, and it altered how we lived life. But this is an everyday thing that we look at every day, no matter what side of the fence you're on in all of this pandemic stuff. And if you're a friend of mine, you probably know where I stand. But anyway, without any further ado, we're going to get into the show. It's the end of 2020. People are gearing up for New Year's and how you're going to celebrate that, no matter how you approach that, whether it's going to be a great big party, right, or maybe something small. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We made it all together, and we're going through this thing together. So without any further ado, we're going to start recording the radio show. And hey, by the way, I'm never too busy for any of your referrals. This is Stephen Thayard, in case you didn't know, your radio realtor, podcaster as well. I can be found on Apple Podcasts and Podbean under the Real Estate Connection. If you or know of anyone who's looking to buy or sell in the near future and you'd like to refer them over to me, don't hesitate to give them my contact information, 408-472-0817. Again, 408-472-0817. You know, the dance card is starting to fill up for 2021 already, which is a major blessing. Thank you, Lord Jesus, for that. There's a couple of listings I have coming on the market by actually next week. Two condos. I'm not allowed to advertise their exact addresses, but um, uh, you can contact me if you're interested in condo living, either in northern Bay Area near San Francisco or down in the Blossom Valley area. Similar price points, and if you're at all in the market in those regions for condominium, let's say in the mid fives or to low fives, give me a call. 408-472-0817. Again, 408-472-0817. I am not marketing the addresses, but there's always inventory to be had if you're on the fence about buying at all. Interest rates are still really, 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 really low. And people are out in the market in droves. So if you're thinking about converting that equity into cash, right? If you're thinking about, hey, I'm sitting on $500,000 in equity, doesn't mean anything unless you're either taking a loan on it or you're going to try to convert it into cash and use it elsewhere in your life somewhere. Then you have to actually transfer ownership and title to someone else, and I would be happy to help you get that done. Again, Stephen Thayard, your radio realtor at 408-472-0817. And without any further ado, we're going to launch right into this program before I get to talking too much in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Real Estate Connection with your radio realtor, Stephen Thayard. Hey, welcome to the end of the year 2020, last final show. By the time you hear this, we will have lapsed into 2021. And so I am coming to you in 2021 and 2020. For those of you who may be confused, I record this show early and then it gets played on the weekends. However, I do have my phone on, so if you want to work with Stephen Thayard, your radio realtor, give me a phone call right now at 408-472-0817. Again, 408-472-0817. If you're looking to convert that hard-earned equity into cash money, I will tell you that the market is still hot. We're going to get into that in today's show for you as well. And the prize in California is home ownership, and we will be getting into that into this year-end edition as well. So if you're looking to get into the market and start riding that equity train, or you're like looking to get off because you've been around the track enough times and you've built up a lot of equity in your home, maybe it's 500,000, 750,000, and for some of you $1 million in equity, and you're looking to cash that out. It doesn't mean anything until it actually exchanges hands and you move on. And now is the time, because there's a lot of velocity still in the market. But without any further ado, hey, welcome to today's program. Congratulations to you for making it through 2020. Hey, it was a tough year for everyone, and whether you brought in the new year in a party or a rager, or quietly at home, it doesn't matter. You still made it. All right, so let's jump right on in. We made it. 2020 has come to a close, and we start out the year with high hopes, but everything changed last year, right? When we came into 2020, right, we were rolling into this thing with very high hopes, and then March happened, right? Lockdowns changed the way we all lived and the way we do business. Many industries were negatively impacted, especially restaurants and personal services. And God bless all of you out there that are keeping your businesses alive despite all of the rules and the changes in their lifestyle. Applause goes out to restaurant owners, hair salon owners, nail salons, barbershops, gymnasiums. Hey, you guys deserve a huge round of applause for surviving this year. So congratulations to you. However, despite the negative impact in many of the industries, real estate has done surprisingly well, and homes ownership is still a worthy pursuit in the state of California. So in this show, the first show of 2021, or you could say the last show of 2020, we will be reviewing two hot topics from 2020. One of those is fall is the new spring, and the second is benefits of owning a home in the state of California. So let's jump right on in and get going, all right? How about you guys still with me? You still with me? All right. There's the noise. Okay, everybody's still on board. We're gonna roll right on through. So, if you're new to this program and you don't want to miss anything, send me an email right now at info@realestateconnectionradio.com. That's info at realestateconnectionradio.com with your name and email address, and I'd be happy to add you to my podcast distribution list so you don't have to miss any future or past episodes. Okay, and then you can just get a notification sent directly to your smart device, your email, whether you read it on your laptop, whether you read it on your phone or your tablet. You're going to get it, and then you can just get right on there to either Apple Podcasts or Podbean and listen to your heart's content. All right, so the first part of this stuff that we're going to be going through in regards to fall is the new spring, and we're over with fall. We're in the winter, and it's still cranking. Goes to Andrea V. Bramblia from Inman. She's a deputy editor there. And if you're not aware of Inman, Inman's a trade magazine or a trade organization that provides articles and detailed information for people in the real estate industry on both the commercial and the residential real estate side and lending. So this article came out in 2020, and I did a show on it in the past, but I thought it would be a good time to review why the real estate market is so stinking hot all the way through the winter time and heading into 2021. Andrea Bramblia has been covering the real estate industry at Inman News since 2009. So applause goes out to you, Andrea, for putting this information together that I am absconding with and giving you full credit for, by the way. She gets full credit, so no one can say that I did not quote her. All right, so why is fall or this winter looking more like spring in the housing market this year, okay? One, record low interest rates. That means buyers, if you're on the fence, you're never going to see rates this low. I know you probably heard that before in the past, but they're really low. They're still hovering right around 3 or under 3%. I heard my brother-in-law locked his refinance at 2.85% with his lender, and that was less than a month ago. I don't know where they sit currently as we speak today, but they're still historically low. So if you're on the fence and you want to get off the fence and you need somebody to guide you up the mountain without falling into a crevasse and getting that job done and getting your offer accepted in a hot market, give your radio realtor, Stephen Thayard, a call at 408-472-0817. Give yourself the gift that keeps on giving, which is the gift of home ownership and equity and wealth. And let's get you into a home. Inventory should start to go up in the spring, but with COVID-19 out there, all of our normal timelines have completely shifted. So again, give me a phone call right now, 408-472-0817. Again, 408-472-0817. You will not be disappointed in becoming a homeowner. You're going to pay rent. You're going to pay a mortgage. It might as well be your own and not your landlord's. All right, so increased need for spacious multifunctional homes during the pandemic. So people are moving in together. They're housing, multiple families are gathering together. They're looking for more space. You can't really go out and move about. City dwelling was super duper popular in 2015 on forward, even, going past. You could go live in San Francisco or Oakland or LA in the downtown area, and you could just go down the stairs or drop down your elevator and walk out the front door and go out to lots of shops, do some shopping, or go to a local bar or even a music venue, or even walk to work. But with the shutdown and the lockdowns, all of those things that were attractive to living in the city have been shut down. So now we're seeing people gather together where they need more space. And so the suburbs have become extremely, extremely popular. So if you're living in a house out in the burbs right now, check with me. Give Stephen Thayard, your radio realtor, a call at 408-472-0817. I can give you a quick snapshot of what the value of your home currently is. I bet you'd be surprised at how quickly you've gained equity over 2020 just by sleeping in your home at night. All right. Additionally, why the market is still hot. Timelines. There's timelines that don't revolve around a school year due to remote learning. All right, so basically, we used to see people rush to buy homes in the springtime so that when their kids got out of school, they'd already be moved into the new house over the summer and ready to start school again. Well, these timelines don't exist anymore because kids are still, at least in the state of California, doing a lot of remote learning, and applause goes out to the parents of school-age kids and educators who are having to try to educate somebody over Zoom, because that's really difficult. I know for me myself, when I'm on a Zoom meeting, it's hard to hold, even for me to hold my own attention for more than an hour. So we're running up on a hard break. When we get back, we're going to continue down the road of why the market is still hot as we're going through a hot topic from 2020 into 2021. Stay with me. We'll see you at the end of the break. All right, we're rocking and rolling. Hey, don't forget to call me, Stephen Thayard, your radio realtor. You hear me talking to you right now. I know you've been thinking about it. Hey, first things first, if you're looking to buy a home, right, let's get your credit checked. Let's run a credit app through a lender. You might find out you can afford a lot more than you thought you could, or you may be thinking that you can buy more house than you should. And this way it gives you an opportunity to take a look at where you sit as far as what you qualify for, so you can really get some shopping done, right? And make this happen for you and your family. Wouldn't that be awesome to be rolling into beginning of 2021 and buying your first home or moving up into your dream property now that you don't have to worry about a commute? Give Stephen Thayard, your radio realtor, a phone call at 408-472-0817. Again, 408-472-0817. And without any further ado, we're going to head right back into today's program in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to the Real Estate Connection with your radio realtor, Stephen Thayard. Hey, thank you for joining me. Hey, Happy New Year. You made it. We all made it together. 2020 is over. We're rolling right into 2021, and we're reviewing some hot topics from last year. You know, a lot of industries took a heavy hit during the pandemic in 2020. Most of those were service industries such as hair salons, nail salons, restaurants, mom and pop stores, whether they be retail, boutiques, things of that nature. It's really been difficult. And my heart goes out to you guys, and a great big round of applause for you for surviving 2020, and cheers to a more prosperous 2021. Let's push this through, people, and let's move forward and do what's necessary to get our economy up and running. But in relation to that, the housing market has been remarkably resilient during 2020 as we're rolling into 2021, and we're going over why that is the case in the first part of today's show. One of the reasons is that working remotely may be extended into Q1 2021. Now, in recent news, you may have heard, if you live in the state of California, that the lockdowns in LA have been extended indefinitely, has been extended indefinitely. And that's going to affect how people continue to work moving in further into the first, maybe second quarter of 2021, unfortunately. But that also will continue the trend as people being able to work from home and not having to live close to where their jobs are located. This is actually fueling the system as far as housing is concerned, and keeping the housing momentum moving forward into 2021. So part of this are record low interest rates. All right, so due to the pandemic, the Federal Reserve, or the Fed, has been keeping rates low to shore up the economy. The 30-year fixed rates have been hovering around 3%. And as I said before in the last segment before we went to a commercial break, if you missed it, by the way, send me an email right now at info@realestateconnectionradio.com. That's info at realestateconnectionradio.com with your name and your email address, so you don't have to miss any further content. As a matter of fact, you can get a link to this last show. And I do owe a listener out there a link to last week's show, which was a repeat from December 5th, and it has not fallen off my radar screen. It will get done, and I apologize for the delay. However, rates are not expected to rise in the near future, which is fueling the momentum of buyers out there. Okay, so the lower the interest rate, the lower the least. How do I say this? Money is less. Money costs you less. So if your interest rate is 10%, the cost of money is higher. The interest rate is below 3% or around 3%, the cost of money is much lower. And you can borrow a lot more money and pay pay a lower payment because the interest rate applied to your loan is much lower, which gives buyers additional strength and buying power to buy more expensive homes. So that plays in two directions. It allows for a buyer to actually get into a more desirable home that's in a better neighborhood that and closer to family and maybe have more space. And it also plays into the hands of sellers who are looking to get more equity or more value out of their homes. And also timing is very important. Buyers, if you're out there, okay, buyers, if you're out there, what that means is that you have to make decisions quickly. Okay, because houses are not staying on the market very long, especially the ones that look attractive to your eye. If they look attractive to your eye, that means they look attractive to everyone else's eye that is out there looking for a home. And you have to make your decisions quickly and come in firm and strong on your offers. For sellers, the time it takes for you to get into contract has been shortened. It's a lot quicker now. So if you're planning to move and you're hoping to get your money out fast, chances are that you'll be able to accomplish this goal. I can't say that when we're in a more balanced or a more higher interest rate market where there's more inventory to choose from and it takes longer to get into contract. So if you're looking to cash out of your equity and do it in say a faster and smoother fashion, this is the time to cash in. If you're at all thinking about buying that house, your dream home, or retiring and relocating. And oh, by the way, give Stephen Thayard, that's me, your radio realtor, that's me, a phone call right now at 408-472-0817 so I can help you get your mission accomplished. It's all about the goal of the client and what you need to get done. That is the way I partner with all of my clients. We sit down and talk about your mission and what needs to get accomplished in what time frame and what type of money you're looking to get out of the transaction, and we laser focus on that to get it done for you so that you can move on as quickly and as efficiently and without any issues as possible. Now, some of this stuff is out of our control, but we manage it through, as the U.S. Navy SEALs say, work the problem. That's what we do. We work problems. And unfortunately, we live in a flawed world. And generally speaking, there are problems with real estate transactions from time to time. But with a professional at hand, we sail through them and we work them out and get your mission accomplished anyway. All right, so moving right along. All right, so buyers have hit the market hard. That is why we still have this heavy velocity in the real estate market, even heading into 2021. The steady increase of buyers entering the real estate market, there's a steady increase. Inventory has remained low. Steady demand has driven prices up. And first-time home buyers have not been scared off by the increase in home prices. So in the past, you might have seen some buyers pull away or flinch a little bit when they see the value of homes going up too quickly, and they want to pull back and not necessarily jump into a hot market. But when you're talking about moving away into maybe your dream home that you couldn't afford before, where you may be combining families or looking for a plot of land to really set in some permanent roots and not temporary ones. Because as you remember in the past, right, in California, in order for you to move up the line of home ownership, you had to buy a condo first and kind of spend 5 years there, build up some equity, and then buy a single family home with a little bit more space. And then maybe your third jump was going to be into your dream home. Well, with the cost of money being extremely low and people needing to have more space because they're at home a lot more and you're doing all of your activities, not only just living, but working, exercising, playing, educating your kids, you need a spot that's really permanent. And so your mindset is different. You're going to invest into something where you're going to stay for a long time, and you don't mind paying a little bit more and jumping into a hot market as long as you can get your mission accomplished, right? Does it have enough room to park your work trucks if you are a sole proprietor? Maybe you're a contractor and you have a few guys working for you and you need a place to park a big truck and some pickups, and you're looking at buying an acre of land. Well, with the cost of money being so low and you can get into that and actually make your dream come true, you're going to pay a little bit of a premium in order for you to get that done. And so that's what's keeping the market velocity still strong heading into 2021. And that's part of why our market has been so good, even though we are in a pandemic. Now, if you are looking to accomplish that mission and that dream for yourself and your family and maybe your small business that's still cranking because people are pulling money out of their houses, maybe you're in the contracting field and you need a spot to park your business and maybe live on site with your equipment, give me a phone call. Stephen Thayard, your radio realtor, 408-472-0817. Again, 408-472-0817. Let's get that mission accomplished for you and your family. All right, so what else is in this Inman article? So Brian Rubenstein, Senior Director of Mortgage at online lender Ally Home, had this to say. Ally saw a delay in the spring market that lasted about 2 months. Whereas the market typically starts heating up in March as home buyers figure out where they want to be for the following school year, this year it wasn't until May that mortgage application volumes started picking up, according to Rubenstein. He goes on to say, our application volume was up to 160% of where it was year over year. The purchase market has begun to pick up steam as the refi wave continues to dwindle a little bit, he said. He also goes on to say, the company said the share of first-time home buyers in July and August had grown to 60% of purchase volume, up 42% of purchase volume of July and August of 2019, a 43% year-over-year increase. He goes on to say, I would expect us to continue to see a steady pickup in purchase volume through the remainder of this year and stay buoyed by the spring market next year. So that's where we're at. We're in a transition from winter to spring, and it still has velocity. Now, we're coming up on a hard break. Stay with me. When we get back, we're going to continue down this road of why the market's still hot, and then we're also going to talk about why it's still a really good idea to buy a house and own one in the state of California. We'll see you in a minute. All right, folks, we're still rocking and rolling. Thank you for joining me today. And oh, by the way, where is that? Where is that? Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year. That's right, 2021. Woo, it's right on us, isn't it? Welcome, welcome. I bet you we're all glad that 2020 is almost at an end. Right? Again, Happy New Year. All right. Enough of that. All right, we're going to roll into the next segment here as I'm recording my radio show, and you guys are my live studio audience. Thank you for joining me today. And oh, by the way, don't forget to give out your radio realtor, Stephen Thayard, my number to any of the people in your life that you may think need assistance with either buying or selling a home in the near future. I can be reached directly at 408-472-0817. Again, 408-472-0817. And without any further ado, we're going to jump right back into this show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to the Real Estate Connection with your radio realtor, Stephen Thayard. And oh, by the way, Happy New Year. Yes, we made it. Thank you for joining me on today's show, radio realtor Stephen Thayard. Interest rates are still historically low. Did you know that? Did you know that buyers are still out in the market pushing hard to buy real estate, even though we're in the middle of winter and when it's historically a trend for things to be slowing down? Did you know that we're not necessarily tied to where our work locations are anymore due to the pandemic. It's really changed the landscape of how we live our life and also where we live. Did you know that you don't have to necessarily drive your kids to school anymore and drop them off and pick them up? That they're learning from a home. All of this information is why we are seeing historic levels of real estate being bought and sold in the state of California and throughout the United States as well. Inventory is extremely low because all of the things that we would normally see in a market have been turned upside down on their head. That's right. It's been flipped, shaked, and rattled and rolled. And now we're dealing with a whole new animal as it relates to the real estate market. Now, does it still have its traditions? Yes. Are we still writing offers and negotiating deals and getting real estate purchased and sold? Absolutely. But the way we go about it and how people are living their lives has absolutely affected the market and the way it looks. And that's what we're discussing in the first segment of today's show is how the real estate market looks heading out of 2020 and into 2021 and how that pandemic has affected it and whether or not the market is still hot. And I would say it is sizzling hot still, even though we're in the middle of a very cold winter. So that's what's going on in this first segment. Hey, if you've missed any part of this segment, though, send me an email right now at info@realestateconnectionradio.com. That's info@realestateconnectionradio.com with your name and your email address. I'd be happy to add you to my podcast distribution list. And that's right, you heard the word podcast. That is correct. This is a show and a podcast. I don't know how many people are doing this out there, but this is a hybrid. What you're listening to is on the radio. It's also being recorded for a podcast, which you can get on Podbean or Apple Podcasts. Just look for The Real Estate Connection on Podbean or Apple Podcasts, or send me that email right now and I'll hook you up. And you guys don't have to miss any more of this content, whether you have to miss because you're busy on a Saturday. So back to what we were talking about. Why is it that the market is still hot and heavy as we're rolling through the winter time? And will that expect to be continued into the spring? And the answer is absolutely yes. One of the reasons why is that timelines are not attached to the school year or other factors as far as buying homes. So traditionally, real estate would slow down in the winter as people would be traveling and moving across the country and being very busy with all kinds of activities, not only business related, end of the year close, wrapping up books, but books and records for businesses and doing final year end filings for different regulation bodies. But we would also be very socially active, running around, going to various parties, year end meetings, social events, award ceremonies, things of that nature that take place at the end of the year, and also traveling to see loved ones in various locations across the United States. And that means that people would step away from the real estate market for a short period of time. Also, we had very active sporting events going on, especially the football season, where people were spending a lot of time on the weekends attending playoff games in bars and restaurants, and also having Super Bowl parties. So traditionally in the real estate market, we'd see a drop off in purchasing activity until after the Super Bowl. That was the unofficial last holiday of the holiday season, which would be your annual Super Bowl get together, party, picking of squares, and then all eyes would turn towards real estate as people were thinking about making a relocation for their family and getting into that school district so that they could get their kids enrolled into the schools that they wanted, and then going on a family vacation, which has become a lot shorter in the summer because of changes to the school year. You know, when I was going to school back in the 80s, oh yes, I'm dating myself a little bit there. When I graduated in high school in the 80s, we would go off on summer break in June. It would actually be June. Graduation into the school year would be in June, but we wouldn't come back until September. So you would have June, July, and August to travel for a family, and it was a long summer break. We didn't have as many breaks during the school year, but nowadays School is out about the same time, if not a little sooner, but kids are and students are going back to school in mid-August. That leaves you just with basically June and July to travel, and then you have to get back here and get ready to go to school. However, with the pandemic, we're no longer attached to those timelines, right? You're distance learning. Kids are still at school, whether no matter where they're living, they can still distance learn at a particular location. You're not traveling and moving about. And if you're in California, especially in Santa Clara County, you're not even allowed to move outside of the county or go more than 150 miles, right? And or unless based on the health director's recommendation to quarantine for 2 weeks if you do. So people aren't moving around, which means the real estate market is not experiencing that normal distraction that it would normally see this time of year. So the velocity is still in it. So what else is another factor? The market. So real estate data from CoreLogic saw home prices rise 5.5% year over year in July, the highest rate since 2018. Real estate brokerage Redfin saw home prices rise even more in the markets it operates in, 8.2%, canceling out a 6.9% increase in buyer purchasing power due to low mortgage rates. Price increases due to high demand and low supply. So when we were coming out of 2019, there was still a short supply of inventory in the market. And when we rolled into 2020, no one expected to see this pandemic. And so there was no real rush to sell. We just thought it was going to be a normal year. However, the short supply and coupled with really low interest rates has created the perfect storm for real estate in the state of California. Because builders aren't building as much due to COVID issues, along with the shelter in place that took place before essential services were identified and all that good stuff. There's like a hole in the middle of the year, March to April, beginning of May, before things started opening back up. Now, are they still building now? Yes, they are. But they're not building where people are wanting to move. People are wanting space, as we've said before earlier in the show, and they want a place to spread out and stretch your wings. So if you're sheltering in place in a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo in a high-rise condo complex with everybody else, where you're at home all day long, with no place to go, and you're listening to your neighbors walk on your head or argue next door through the walls, you're starting to feel like you need some space. And so people are moving out to the burbs, and that's just all there is to it. So inventory being low, interest rates being low, and people wanting more space has created the perfect storm in residential real estate, especially in the suburbs, which is why we are seeing the growth in gains in equity and the shortness of time on market and the amount of buyers that we have in the marketplace because the cost of money is really low. So to recap, rates are low. We are not physically tied down anymore. Inventory is low. People are looking for more space for multifunctional homes. The holidays don't slow down the market like it did in the past. Buyers are not scared away from the market due to increase in home prices, and it's low inventory. Okay, so that wraps it up for why we're in the market that we're in, and why it will look to continue on into 2021, into the spring. And if you're on the fence and you're looking to either cash out that equity or you're looking to get into the market, remember, the prize in real estate is the home, and the prize in selling is getting that equity turned into cash. Give your radio realtor, Stephen Thayard, a call at 408-472-0817 and 408-472-0817. And with that, we're going to go to a short commercial break. And when we get back, we're going to talk about the benefits of home ownership and why it's still important in the state of California, even during a pandemic. We'll see you in a minute. Woo, I had to wet my whistle. We were moving. All right, so we're on a hard commercial break right now. And hey, if you guys know of anybody that are looking to buy or sell in the near future, hey, tell them to give Stephen Thayard, that's me right there, Stephen Thayard, your radio realtor, a phone call at 408-472-0817. Again, 408-472-0817. Or better yet, call me and give me their number with their permission, and I'll reach out to them. I'd be happy to reach out to your friends and family if they have any questions about whether or not now is a good time to make a move, whether or not now is a good time to purchase. Sometimes it's difficult to get people to call, but if you say, hey, I got this guy, I think he'd be really good at helping you out. Is it okay if I give him your number and have him reach out to you? Go ahead and do that, and let's get this thing rocking and rolling. And let's see if we can work together. All right. Anyway, so let's go. Let's get on down the road with this next segment. We're going to be talking about the benefits of home ownership in 5, 4, 3. Oh, wait. I got to change my time here. We're going to go into not the next segment. It was going to be short. All right. Psych. All right. In 5, 4, 3. Oh, yeah. One more time. Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. All right. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to the Real Estate Connection. Thank you for joining me, Stephen Thayard. That's me, Stephen Thayard, your radio realtor at 408-472-0817. Again, your radio realtor at 408-472-0817. 408-472-0817. Hey, and Happy New Year! We made it! 2021. That's right. You got through. You survived 2020. It's those hard years that you remember that actually make life sweeter. Whenever you have to fight for something really hard, when you attain that goal, it just makes it that much better. It's just got a nice taste to it. It's kind of like when you get a brisket and you smoke it and cook it all day long and you're smelling it for like hours and the anticipation is building up, and then finally you take it out, let it rest, and you cut it through and it just melts like butter, and then you get to eat it. That's 2020. We made it through. And you guys, you did a great job. And my hands and my applause goes out to all the small business owners who struggled, who got through. The hairdressers, the nail salon owners, the restaurateurs, the small boutiques located in hamlets like downtown Willow Glen and Los Gatos, Morgan Hill and Gilroy. All you people that struggled, who still were providing for your workers, my hat goes off to you, and a great big round of applause. You made it, and I pray for your continued success and that you continue to make it into 2021. But now, let's switch gears. What we're talking about is home ownership. You would think during a pandemic that it might affect this industry, but actually the home industry has been rolling. It's been on fire all year long. So let's talk about the benefits of home ownership. What are they? Low mortgage interest rates are one of those things you don't see in a while. And this is part of the benefit of home ownership. When you rent, you're subject to the whims of your landlord, right? Your rent can be raised. When expenses go up for him, they're going to go up for you. Or the property can be sold out from underneath you, and you really don't have control over how much you pay, or whether or not you're going to be able to stay in that property without somebody making the decision for you as far as it is concerned, as far as how long you're going to stay. You also can leave before, if you want. But when you own your own home, all of those decisions rest firmly in your own hands. And with a low interest rate, it gives you more buying power in the real estate market, and it fixes in your mortgage payment, or you could say your rent payment. You're going to know what you're going to pay for rent every month for the next 30 years. There's going to be no surprises. It's not going to go up on you. It may not go down on you, but you can work around that. You can plan your whole life and your finances around this fixed point on an axis, which is your fixed interest rate for 30 years, which your principal, your interest, your taxes, and insurance are going to be. Now, your taxes may go up, but thanks to Proposition 13 in the state of California, they can only go up 2% annually, or the rate of inflation, whatever's lower. or higher. Check me on that. Come on, Steven. You just did a property tax show a couple of weeks ago. But anyway, it can only go up a certain amount every year. And your insurance rates don't tend to jump too quickly. So you have more of a way to plan your finances. So that's one of the benefits of home ownership is what your mortgage rate is going to be. Also, when you have a lower interest rate and you can borrow more money for less money, you can buy a better house in a better neighborhood, which provides more security for you and your family. So take advantage of these low interest rates before they go up. You're going to pay rent anyway. You're going to pay a mortgage anyway. It might as well be yours. Set it in, lock it in place while it's still historically low. Who knows when we're going to see these rates again? The Fed's been keeping them artificially low to keep the economy propped up during this pandemic. All right. Number 2, what's another reason why you should own a home? It's a hedge against inflation. So as inflation rises, so does the cost of goods and services. Having a house with a fixed rate keeps your payment locked in, right? 15 years, 30 years. We don't really use adjustable rate mortgages much anymore because they're dangerous. That means your rate can jump up on you and your payment can change. But you can plan around your payments, and as inflation goes up, right, your payment in your house is fixed. So for those people who maybe bought a house 15, 20 years ago and paid, say, $450,000 for a 1,500 square foot house, and their payments locked in at, say, $1,900 a month, they are paying a lot less for their housing than you would be paying even to rent that same property. So it is absolutely an absolute hedge against inflation in the future. So not only is the house the prize, but so is locking in your payment for your cost of living for the next 15 or 30 years. All right, so what's number 3? Number 3, as far as the benefit of home ownership, is saving money on taxes. So you get certain tax breaks when you own a home that you don't get when you rent. One of those is the property taxes. So for the federal government, it's capped at $10,000, but still, that's better than nothing. All right, so you're paying rent now. You're getting no itemized deductions on your tax returns. Now, the standard deduction went up when the tax law changed. So if you have a really low mortgage payment or a base year in your home, it may not pay to itemize. However, if you're buying a home now and you're paying today's home prices and today's property tax based on the value of the home that you're purchasing today, absolutely it will probably kick you into an itemized deduction arena where you can take more deductions on your income tax returns. So not only do you get your property taxes, but you get your mortgage interest that you pay on your loan. So you get to deduct the interest on the mortgage payment that you're paying on your loan. So that's another thing that you can also look into. Now that's capped up to $750,000, I do believe, but do check with your tax advisor in regards to where the cap is at in regards to how much mortgage interest you can deduct. And if you're if this is like sounding really good to you and you want to itemize and take a bigger deduction on your tax return and you want to lock in your payment into the future and hedge against inflation, and you want to know what your rent's going to be for the next 15 or 30 years, and you've been on the fence at all about buying a house, give Stephen Thayard, your radio realtor, a phone call right now. 408-472-0817. Again, 408-472-0817. Let's get you into home ownership so you can take advantage of some of these benefits of owning a home. Also, freedom. You get to pick and choose your colors, especially if you're not in a homeowners association, right? Of the exterior of your home, how you landscape it in the front, how you put together the outside living space, how you paint the walls, what kind of finishes or textures you have on the wall, remodeling your kitchen. All of that great stuff comes with owning your own home. You get to decide how you live and how you want to decorate the place. I mean, there's just a lot that comes to it. So what else is there? Building equity. So I know a lot of you out there already know what this term means, but for anyone who might not know, equity is the value you have in your home beyond your mortgage, right? So if you purchased a home for $500,000 and you have a loan of 250, that's what you owe on the property. So the 250,000 in cash that you put down is your equity plus the increase in value over time. So if the house is now worth $750,000 and your loan is at 250, then now you have $500,000 in equity. But you cannot have equity if you don't own a house. So this is something that's really important because it builds wealth. Not only are you going to be paying down the principal and interest on your loan every month, but as the values increase in the state of California over time, you're gaining value, or you're building net worth for you and your family that you can use to either pass on to your heirs or use for retirement or for investment purposes in the future to maybe make that money grow for you in other areas of your life. So equity is very important. Also, stability. You won't have to worry about your living situation. It won't change unless you decide for it to change. Also, it forces you to save money. When you're paying your mortgage down and building equity, it's like an invisible piggy bank, and you're earning income off of your own house. And don't people want to gain money in their sleep? That's called either pillow money or mailbox money, where you're just earning money in your sleep. So run up on a hard break. When we get back, we're going to wrap up the show for 2020 and 2021. Thank you for joining me, and we'll see you in a minute. Wow, that went really quick. So those are the benefits of owning a home. So we're just going to get right back into this in 5, 4, 3. Oh yeah, one more time, just because it's fun. Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year. All right, Happy New Year. All right, here we go. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to the Real Estate Connection with your radio realtor, Stephen Thayard, whom you can reach directly at 408-472-0817. Again, 408-472-0817. Hey, if any of the stuff we've been talking about today rings true with you personally, and you are like, man, I've been thinking about buying a house for a long time, and everything that he said is just right on the money. I want stability. I want to be able to save. I want to be able to earn wealth for my family. I want a fixed payment and not have to worry about the house being sold out from underneath me, and be able to decorate it and do anything I want to the property. And this really rings for you. Give me a call. Don't delay. Call me today, 408-472-0817. Let's get you into a home so that you can build wealth for you and your family. Pass it on to your heirs. Leverage it for more investment in the future. This is the land of milk and honey, the one place in the world where you can buy land, own it yourself, control it, sell it, leverage it, do whatever you need to get to make it grow and work for you. And oh, by the way, Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year. Welcome to 2021. I hope you had a good time rolling into the new year. And yes, we made it. A big fat round of applause to all of you who have made it through 2020 and rolled into 2021. So in today's show, we kind of wrapped up the big ideas of 2020. One, the market was on fire. Even though we're in the middle of a pandemic, due to the really low interest rates, due to the shortage of amount of affordable housing and housing itself, due to people not wanting to be living on top of each other because they're staying home all the time. Not only are they not going to work to get out of the house, but their kids aren't even leaving the house to go to school. There's no space in the family. You need extra space, and so people are moving away from the city centers and out into the suburbs, and everyone has the same idea, which means there is competition for your home. So if you're at all thinking about moving in the near future or cashing in the equity, this time is absolutely brilliant to get that done, because people are going to be fighting over your house. You're going to get more money than you expect, hopefully, if the house is set up right for sale. And if you want to know how to do that correctly, give Stephen Thayard, your radio realtor, a phone call at 408-472-0817. Again, 408-472-0817. And I can help you get the equity out of your home, convert it into cash so you can use it for whatever your mission is. Because my job is to help you get your mission accomplished as quickly and as smoothly as possible. And as the U.S. Navy SEALs say, if we run into any situations, we'll work that problem and handle it. And if you're on the fence and any of this is ringing true to you, what we talked about is for some of the reasons for owning a home, which another one is the pride of ownership, right? The primary advantage of you owning a home is your feeling of accomplishment, having a place for you and your family to make memories, having a place for you and your family to put down roots into the community, a place to celebrate accomplishments, milestones, and holidays. Excuse me. Having a place of safety to return to at the end of the day, where you can put your own personal touches to. a place to invite friends and family, especially as we get over this pandemic. And also a place, you're also part of the American dream of being a landowner in the United States of America, which is still arguably one of the greatest countries on earth. So, excuse me, if any of this rings true to you and you are on the fence, man, this is the time to do it. Interest rates are really low, and we're moving into 2021, and they're staying that way. And the market is still really good for equity building up. Even though you're getting into the middle of it where you think you might be high on the price point, the prices are still moving in a positive direction. Plus, you can customize your living space, which doesn't everybody want that? All right, so without any further ado, I'm going to leave you with this as we go into the new year. It's a message of hope, and it says, "He will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain, for the old order of things has passed away." Revelation 21:4. Let's hope for that in 2021. No more tears, no more pain, and nothing but joy and positiveness for you and your family. God bless you. God bless the United States of America. And we will see you again next week on another episode of the Real Estate Connection with your radio realtor, Stephen Thayard. Thank you. Goodbye. All right, that's it for the show. Thank you guys for joining me today. God bless you. Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year. Let me see if I can play this again really quick on our way out the door for New Year's. Let me see if it'll pull up. All right. Where is it? New music? All right, here we go. Oh, wait. Sorry. I had it on a website. Let me see if I can pull that up real quick. Oh, here we go. All right, here we go. Happy New Year, everybody! Happy New Year! We made it, folks. We made it. Happy 2021, everybody. And that's it for the Real Estate Connection. God bless everybody. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.